All right. Gonna wait a little bit, guys, so that more people join in, and then we're gonna start with questions and also reviews. The chat is online and good to go. If you guys have any questions, you can always ask in the chat. I'll be able to monitor both. All right, while we wait, I'm just gonna do a few dailies on my side. And I'll give it a few minutes, and then I'll get started on the reviews from the one that are on the Discord submission channel. If you guys are in the stream, you can also share in game if you're in the open arena, same season as me. You just have to locate me, and then you just click contact the leader here. So example, for this one, I will click Alliance, contact leader, and then you'd be able to contact me directly in game. Oh, all right, let me see. I have a question. Sure, of course. Of course, you can ask. We're gonna do an elemental domain as well later on. All right, so for elemental domain, it's definitely good if you have multiple marches that can do damage to the boss. It will allow you to get more of these stones, right? But I would not focus too heavily on making marches for elemental domain, just for elemental domain. I'll show you my example. This is my main account. As you can see, I have my main. This is actually my main at the moment. Probably going to change it soon. And again, this is not a dragon. I'm limiting my power because I'll be migrating after this KVK, so I'm trying not to go high. But this is the merge that I use at the moment. And I also have this one. So I'm able to do fairly well in some of the days for elemental domain. But I don't have a march for the water march. This is all skilled, but as you can see, there's no dust. This one is not even boosted. I think it's to level 20 maybe. This one level 20, 25. So this one is not even boosted level 1. This one is 25, but there's no dust. There's no dust. This one is only level 39, not boosted. Yeah, no dust. 25, not boosted. There's no specialization. I'm not wasting it on my water team because other than elemental domain, I would not be using these immortal. I'm using the skills that I use on other marches. But this day on Monday, with my water march, I do probably 10% maximum. Sometimes I don't even get to the 10%. Sometimes I get nothing out of that day, and I'm fine with it. It's not that big of a deal. Um, I rather focus my resources on something that I'll use elsewhere. My main march I'm going to use in KVK, PvP, Arena, TOS, almost everywhere, right? So it's way better. However, if you don't have a fire team, I think you might want to invest a little bit into a fire team. If you don't have Wu, you can always do Wu. She's always going to be good in your second, third March as well if she's not in your main. And fire team is the one that's going to perform the best in this event. On the weekend, if the boss is not preventing crit for the fire team, I always do the fire team. I'm not even going to do this one, which I have a decent team as well, because the fire team just deals way more damage because of the crit, as long as you don't face the boss that has the crit immunity, right? So this is how I do my elemental domain. I do well on Tuesday. I do not too good on Wednesday. On Wednesday, again, this is not boosted, no dust. Boosted 25, but no dust. This one is one of my second mains, so it's really well done. This one is on my third or fourth team, so not super well, but not too bad neither. I think I'm probably able to get to the 10, sometime the 25%, but I don't do too well on Wednesday. I do well on Thursday because it's my Earth team. So I have this one here boosted, no dust, but I did invest some specialization because I tried to do some damage on this day as well. This day I don't do much neither. As you can see, sometime I can do 10%. To give you an idea, today I didn't get 10%. So today, yesterday, I did not do anything on elemental domain. I didn't even get 2 chests, right? Because if you do 10, you get 2 chests. So I didn't get it. So that's my take on elemental domain. And we can do it while we are talking about it. When you do elemental domain, you want to use your boost. I don't know if I needed it, but I'm just going to use it anyway to show you. I also changed my talent. And this one, because I saw the fire was going to do magic damage, I'm also going to change this one here. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the tab. Again, this is the boss that you're facing. If you fight fire today, it does magical damage. So that's why I switch my talents. This one is stun effect. It's fine. Earth Immortal is fine. I'm going to do fire. And then there's HP. That's not too bad. So here, what I'm going to focus on is damage on my Wu and Hippo. I'm also going to make sure there's crit because I want to use crit against this boss. He is not countering crit. I have Master Aegis, so I'm going to use it. The reason is, again, magical damage. Here, I might change. Well, I'm going to try this first. And then I'm going to look at the report, see what happens. So I almost got it. There's not enough damage. I'm going to give it this, and I'm going to where is it? Over there. Oh, actually, this is the one I wanted. Let's see. Okay, still not killing it. I need to try and see if I can get last tick. So this one I did less. I'm gonna switch back corrosive power. Uh, so you can see as well that I'm still quite healthy. So I'm gonna remove a healing skill. I'm gonna put Chaos Storm. I'm gonna try and see if I can do more damage because I'm gonna get physical magical defense decrease on the enemy. Let's see. I was not able to kill it still. Okay, see this time because I removed the healing skill, I'm not able to sustain. But this is worse. I could do purification actually. Where is it? There we go. Let me try this one. I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be around the same. Let's try. Oh, there we go. Oh, oh, I was able to kill it once, and then I was not able to kill it twice. Then I'm going to switch back my talent. Vitality's Touch is a decent skill to have for sure. If you are able to choose still between Purification and Vitality's Touch, I would take Purification, I think, because Vitality's Touch, if you look at the skill, it only do healing. So if you're fighting somebody like Quinn or Khan, this is not going to matter almost at all. You're going to be countered pretty hard. Whereas this one only heals if it does not remove any debuff. So with Purification, if you are fighting a Quinn or a Khan, you're still going to get value out of it, or more chances to get value out of it. So if you don't have neither of the skills and you're choosing between them, go Purification first. All right. All right. If you guys have any teams that you would like me to review or question, you can ask in the chat. You can also ask on the Discord here. I'll be able to see. So what I'll do is I'll start from this top for now. And you guys can just always ask question at the same time. I don't think I reviewed this one. Don't remember. We can do it quickly. So this is an Alex YSS Quinn Himiko. Again, we've done this one quite a few times. Boost 25, 25, 20. All right, so this is a pretty standard team. He is still early season, so there are a few improvements for sure that needs to be done. However, if you look at this skill here and this skill, I would remove both. Reason is this skill is not the best at all. It's not really good. And this one only protects yourself. And you are YSS, you're a tank, so you don't want to protect yourself. You want to protect the Alex or Himiko in this case. So you definitely want to remove Iron Will. The resist is fine as long as you're fighting magical damage. If you're not fighting magical damage, you need to remove it. This is fine. Again, it's a little bit the same principle when it comes to Malice. If you're not fighting a team that does crit, so if you're fighting other Alex March, this is useless for you. So this is situational for sure, these two skills, but still decent if you're fighting the right enemy. This is fine. It's a good combo, nothing to change. However, after Frostborn Season 1, I would definitely replace probably Cleave by Assembly Charge. Assembly Charge on Alex is too good to pass. You need it on your Alex. And then here on Himiko, these skills are fine. In my opinion, with this team, if you ever get a red skill, I would probably go with a red skill on Himiko, like Energy Mastery. It would be really good. You can always do Alex instead if you want to focus on your Alex. It would be fully prepare or knife through butter. When it comes to chaos, I don't think you really need one. If you ever want to change for a chaos, you, in my opinion, have three options. First one would be Athena, that you could replace YSS. Because you have Quinn and not Zenobia, I don't think it's the best option, however. And YSS is already a very good immortal. And then you have Loki. You could replace Himiko, but you already worked on Himiko and she's quite strong, so I don't think it would be the best option either. You could have Fu Fei. If you replace Quinn with Fu Fei, it would be an upgrade for sure. That would be a decent change. I wouldn't do Poseidon or Wu, given you have a strong Alex as well. So my best recommendation here would be a Fu Fei. You could do Nine Tails, but if you do Nine Tails, it's not that good with Alex, but it is very good with Himiko. We'll continue to the next one. I think, yeah, I already did this one. I'm going to put a, so that I can remember. I don't have all the information on this one. Still very early too. This one we already did. Let's see this one. So this is a fire team. All right, let's take a look at this one. This is a fire team that is still very common, but I don't necessarily suggest to keep working this way. There's a few reasons. First one is you have two King of the Hill Immortal into Sion and Trajan. It's not going to be easy for you to keep working on both of them on making their specialization really high. If you're able to afford it, go for it. It is still decent. I personally prefer Wu as a carry rather than Sion Diok. The reason is with Sion Diok, you need corrosive power and even, I would say, energy mastery for her to really shine. But she lost some effectiveness when she got nerfed almost a year ago when it comes to corrosive power in her ultimate. So she's not as strong as she used to be. And given the fact that you're also using her as support at the moment, Wu would definitely do better overall, and she's going to be way cheaper. Cyrus is a decent immortal. The thing with Cyrus is he's a little bit harder to get, and I still don't think his crit, the stun that he has when your team crit, is all that effective. It sounds like it's really good, but it doesn't crit, it doesn't go off that often. When it comes to the skills, again, if you are using Sion Diok as a support, it's not the best option. I think you should put a little bit more damage on her. You could move weakness to one of the support or tank and give her another skill. Something like anger would work well. Something like time to shine. You also have, oh no, these are not paid. These are wish skill. This is a very good skill. This also works on Sion Diok, but it can also work on Hippo. This skill is fine because it's a fire team. It's not my favorite one, but it's still okay. Here you'll have a little bit too many grace though. You have 4 grace. It's a little bit too much. I would remove this one and this one. This and this is very good. The energy blessing and the damage blessing are very good for fire team. But the defense one and the attack speed one, they're not really useful for you. So I would definitely change these two. Again, weakness should go on Cyrus or Trajan. If you want to make any change to improve this March, in my opinion, is you need to change Sion Diok. You can focus on your Trajan with your King of the Hill box and Golden Path. You can either do Wu Or you can also do Wu and Quinn, or you can do Sion and Quinn. If you want to keep Cyrus, it's fine, but you definitely need to focus a lot more on crit. So I would definitely do if you keep Cyrus. It's just a lot easier. You're going to need the specialization almost maxed out to do a lot of crit. And again, the reason is when you look at Fire Team, the specialization is extremely important. It is important for all Immortal, but for Fire Team, it's even more important because when you look at the nods, you have the crit one. So if you go down to the last level and you max out the crit value for each one of them, you get to a point where you do a lot of crit damage. Your crit is really high. So that's what you want with Fire Team. So if your Sion Diok is like spec 2 or 3, she's not going to be able to carry. Let me look at the chat real quick. Game, 1 second. All right. I'm going to continue while, if anybody has a question or a team to review, you can let me know and I'll switch to that one. So let's do this one. All right. So this is a decent team. I think it's an upgrade from Quinn. I do like Matilda a lot. Again, the only reason is this is quite hard to do to King of the Hill, but you already maxed out one of the spec for Trajan, and Matilda is already 7, so you're really well on the way to have both of them maxed out, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, when it comes to this team, what you need to do for sure is you need Fighting Master. You're going to place Fighting Master here. You're going to keep these two. You can also change this one to Abundant Spirit at some point. I think it's better than Spell Disintegrator for Wu. Here, this is fine. The only thing is you need to be careful. You need to make sure that Assist is not killing your Matilda too quickly, but this is fine. These two, again, we just talked about them. Very good for Fire Team. This is fine as well. The only thing is with Lifelink, it's a decent one on Hippo because you want her to survive. You're using her the right way as a utility immortal more than an attack immortal. If she doesn't die too quickly, you could always do something else for her. You could do this kill here in Unyielding, which is fine on her. It's going to give her a little bit of sustain with the HP recovery and a lot of crit as well once you drop a little bit of HP. These are fine on Trajan. So yeah, the main concern of this one really it's the no Fighting Master. You absolutely need Fighting Master. This one, I don't think we did yet. Oh, yes. Also here, the dust is okay, but you really need to focus on first. Your Trajan is quite high. It's already way high enough to stop working on him at the moment. You want to max this one first and then come back max Hippo. Then you can do Matilda to at least 30. And then if you want to invest more DOS on these two, you can do a little bit of Trajan, a little bit of Matilda. If you want to bring them to 50, it's fine. They don't necessarily need to be 50. It's up to you. You also mentioned that you have Alex and Himiko. Alex, I would keep in my second march. Alex would not do so well in this march. You could always replace Hippo with Alex if your Alex is really strong. If you do, it's going to lose some synergy. You would need to do something like Time to Shine on him, Assembly Charge, and maybe something like this skill here. What's the name? Iron Curtain, just so that he stay tanky and you use him more as utility. And with Time to Shine, you would have some crit, which is what you want for Fire Team. But I wouldn't really change this one. I would probably just keep my Alex and my second March as you're doing. I would not put Himiko in this neither. Wu is better because it's a Fire Team in this one. So I wouldn't change this here. You can always do this as your second team. Here, however, I would definitely replace Hannibal with a tank at some point because you now have 3 damage immortal and that's too much. Before I move on to the next one, by the way, if you do want to get a fire red skill, it would be infinite firepower for you. That would be very good. I would probably do Habitant Spirit, infinite firepower, and then Fighting Master. All right, so this one, Himiko, Alex, Bjorn, Quinn. This is really good team. It is something that is very common. I can make a very similar team, actually exactly the same. The reason why I don't is because when I do, I lose power on my second team. So I sometimes do it when I'm fighting in PvP, one versus one. It is really good for a few reasons. These skills are really good together. This is really good. You definitely have life protection that helps prevent the assist rundown. Your Quinn's probably staying healthy. This is fine. Level 4. I also have it level 4. You don't really need higher than that until you can max a few other ones. Knife through butter, assembly charge, and wind rage, really good together as well. The skill that I would max first on out of these one is going to be energy mastery. I would definitely bring knife through butter up as well. Life protection, this would be the last one I do. Here you have the damage one. I personally prefer the crit, but it's not that big of a deal. You have the right artifact surge. This one is fine as well. It doesn't matter too much. I prefer the resilience, but it depends on who you're fighting a lot. This is a very good theme for sure. I personally prefer double tank, but Alex is really strong as well. A lot of player has Alex, so I like it too. It's a really good team. When it comes to future, if you do want to get a Chaos Immortal, your only option at the moment, if you want to keep something similar to that, it would be replacing Quinn. Quinn, sorry. Because if you do Bjorn, you would need to do Anubis. I wouldn't change for Athena. You don't have a lot of healing for Athena. Anubis would be better than Bjorn, but Bjorn is an extremely good immortal. You don't really want to replace Alex unless you do something like Athena. You don't want to do Wukong, you don't want to do Poseidon. You could do Anubis alongside Bjorn, but it's not the best option. I think Alex is very strong. I would really change Quinn to either a Fufei, a Ninetail. I don't think I would do anything else when it comes to Chaos. You could replace Himiko with Loki, but she's already very strong. When it comes to your fire team, again, we just did a very similar fire team. This is very solid. Now you need to remember you cannot put Fighting Master because he already has Fighting Master here. This is also another reason why getting Fufei is actually a good option for you. It would allow you to remove Fighting Master from your main team and come here and put it on your second team, which would allow Wu to carry a lot more consistently. This is fine. Paralysis is also fine because you're fighting a lot of Alex, I'm guessing. This is a strong march. The only thing is Hippo, this is a good skill on Hippo. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if she's doing a lot of damage for you. But she might be, because if Wu is stunned without Fighting Master, maybe Hippo is doing some damage. But for sure, if you do move Fighting Master at some point on Wu, I'd probably remove the skill and do it probably something like Fighting Will. I have a question here. 1 second. All right. So how to counter Lightning team as a team early game? What do you mean by early game though? Like season 1, what's your castle level? What's your Lightning March? All right. I'm gonna wait for him to give more info on the Lightning team. So the question is, how can you counter a typical Earth March using a Lightning team early game? So it really depends on your Lightning team. So and your castle level. I can already start answering it, but okay, so you are the Earth team and you want to counter a Lightning team. Okay, so if the Lightning team has Can, now for sure a strong Can is gonna make it hard for you to counter them. 1 second, let me go back. Um, but there is a way, and the best way is for you to do AoE damage. The enemy team's probably running something like early game. I don't know if that's their March, but if they have double tank and you are playing Alex, Quinn, YSS, and Cleo, you are going to run into trouble because you're fighting double tank and they have damage on the backline. So what I would do is you need skill like Cleave. Cleave is going to be good because it's going to give you AoE. You want Assembly Charge. Where is it? Hmm. You could always do Blade Vortex, but I would do Cleave, Assembly Charge, and probably Wind Rage. Wind Rage is here. Assembly Charge. This will give you AoE. On your Cleo, if they have a March that has the Tokyu and Hamu, you want to use your Cleo a little bit more as a support. Our ultimate is going to lower the enemy magical damage, so that's already good against them. What you can do is you can give her Berserk, you can give her Oaken Guard, you can give her Energy Shield, No Escape. Well, no escape you can, but Energy Shield you can. Purification. You want something that will give AoE to your Alex March so that it's not going to focus only on the front line. This is the only way really to counter a double tank March and also early Lightning March. You cannot really do that much other than that. They counter you by element, but honestly, again, it really depends on their March. If they're running something like this, it's extremely costly on King of the Hill and also on Can. I'm pretty sure you can counter them with your Earth March. I personally would not rank this higher than a Earth March. Now you do have Cleo instead of Zenobia, and it's okay because Quinn is going to counter the healing. However, Zenobia is still very good because of the artifact that gives attack speed to your Alex. So I don't know if it's because you're trying to counter it or you don't have Zenobia, but I still think Zenobia is probably better than Cleo, unless they have a very, very strong Hamu. I hope this answers a little bit your question. It's not the easiest March to counter early with an Alex March. So another question, which is the best Earth Dragon talent for a team of Himiko, Quinn, Charles, and Alex? For your Himiko, Quinn, Charles, and Alex, who is the carry? It depends a little bit on who is your carry on the Himiko and Alex team. If your carry is Himiko, the best talent is going to be, in my opinion, this one. So let me go to the Dragon. Actually, I'm going to go in the open arena. It's going to be easier. This one here is, in my opinion, the best if Himiko is the carry. This one is the best if Alex is the carry. This one is still decent. You can always do this one with Himiko as well. I personally preferred first one. I tested both and I had better result with this one here. But this one is also decent. The middle one is only for Alex. Well, works best with Alex as a carry. So that would be with an Alex YSS, Quinn Zenobia March, or also if your Alex has Knife Through Butter and fully prepare, then this talent is very good. All right. Just take a look. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue the review on the Discord. Again, if you have any question or other players March to review, just let me know. This one, I think we did this one. I might have forgotten. All right. Yeah, I think we did this one, but I can do it quickly again. So here you're very, very, very early. I would switch some of these here again. Two King of the Hill Immortal. It's not the best. I would keep Toku. This one here, unless it's already high, I would probably change. This one again, it's a placeholder in my opinion. You can always use them. I would change it as soon as possible. Matilda would be very good. You can do Zenobia, you can do Quinn. Now Quinn and Khan together is not the best, but it would already be better than this Immortal. When it comes to Khan, the issue with Khan early is it's going to take you quite some time to get him specialization high enough for him to be a really good carry. This is why I don't necessarily think going Lightning early for somebody that doesn't spend quite a lot early game is the best option. Khan is just too hard to do quickly as a low spender. It's the same thing with Charles. It's the same thing with Elcid. It's the same thing with Baldwin. These four immortals are quite hard to do early game as a low spender. I don't know. Let me see the other immortal. So here I would definitely like for now these two are already maxed out on stars. You can keep them. Here I would definitely do Zenobia or Quinn. You can also replace Honestly, I think it's Zenobia or Quinn. The issue is if you do change your account at the moment until he is ready, your only carry would be Louis. And you need to be careful. I don't think it's going to be enough carry. Even this immortal cannot carry, doesn't have all fully stores. Early game, it's really all about the stores, guys. If you cannot max an immortal quick enough, we're planning on fighting a lot, you need to make your first team easier immortal to max at the start. You don't have to put dust on them. You can always work on your second and third team using the immortal that you're planning on putting on your main team. For example, Khan can be on second team, and when he is ready, you put him in your main team. But this is going to take quite a while for you to be able to carry with your Khan. I don't know what's his march though. Oh, here, okay. Um, Yeah, so assembly charge is definitely to get from the King of the Hill shop. Not yeah, the Legion of Earthbound shop. You need to replace combo and put assembly charge. It's going to be a very, very good Alex. Now, do you want guard or energy shield? If you're going to get energy mastery for your Himiko as the first red skill, you don't necessarily need guard. The reason is your Himiko is going to deal more damage than your Alex, so you could do energy shield instead of guard because you're getting energy mastery on your Himiko. If that was not the case, then guard will be the option for sure because you would need to protect your Alex. Um, but with this setup, I think energy shield would be better in your instance. And then guard would be the next option after that. The rest is fine. Yeah, the rest is fine. You definitely need to upgrade this artifact to gold first. And I would do this one to gold, and then this one to silver. You can leave this one for the last one. Oh, a few questions. All right, so this player here just answered. Well, he's on the stream, so that's nice. He watched the review. He did say that he was going to change Quinn with Fufei. I do think it's the best option when it comes to a chaos on this team. The main reason, again, is because you're going to be able to remove Fighting Master and use it on your second team. If you're going to use Alex on your second team, the thing is that you're using a fire team, right? And you also have Matilda. So Matilda and Alex won't do that well together, but you kind of need to do it anyway because you have knife through butter on your Alex. I still think, even though there's going to be a little bit of anti synergy, if you replace Hippo with Alex, it might still be better than using Hippo. Again, knife through butter is a really good skill. It would make, in my opinion, your second team stronger. The Fighting Master will come on your Wu, and I would keep probably these two skill, maybe even the Bhutan Spirit and Infinite Firepower. But this one is really good as well, so you need to test it out. The rest is fine. When it comes to a double tank, you're gonna do Ragnar and Jorn. Ragnar and Jorn is a decent setup. The reason is Ragnar is going to give you more magical damage for your Himiko, which is really good. Then you're going to have Fufei. This is a Ur Dragon. You're going to have one. You're going to be a rainbow team, right? So you're going to have a Chaos. You're going to have a Shadow, two Shadow. So you're going to get the buff anyway because you're going to get 3 shadow. Fu Fei is going to be shadow. It's fine. Um, I do think, however, at some point, and this is what I'm doing at the moment, and again, I don't know how your dragon are developed, but you might want to start doing a lightning dragon if you can, because if you do Himiko, Fu Fei, Bjorn, and Ragnar, I think a lightning dragon would do better than an earth dragon. Again, the reason why for me it's extremely good is because my second team is not a fire team, is a earth team, right? So this allows me to, and I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. But I'm gonna switch my earth dragon away from my Himiko and do a lightning dragon instead, because it's gonna give me a decent dragon power, and it's gonna allow me to move my earth dragon with my Alex. So it's gonna give me a better team on my second team, and my main team is still gonna be decent. What I want from my dragon from this one is going to be the reduce damage, and more importantly, the increased damage on ultimate. My Himiko is going to hit harder because of this talent. This is what I'm doing at the moment. Still a work in progress. I'm also limiting my power, so because I'm migrating soon. So there are a few things that I'm still doing. I'm still not sure, but this is essentially the same thing you want to do, right? So instead of YSS, you have Ragnar. And you do have a lightning dragon at its max, I would definitely try it. Because again, once you remove your Alex from your team, you don't need the it's here. You don't need the Earth Dragon. So I think lightning would be better. Also, if you do make your secondary Alex, YSS, Queen, and Zenobia as well, you definitely need to use Lightning Dragon. Your Lightning Dragon is going to be on your main, and your Earth Dragon is going to be a second, that's for sure. So the skill on Zorn, Ragnar, and Matilda, I'm going to use mine as an example. So the skill that you would do on your Ragnar and Zorn is going to be something similar. The reason why I do this one at the moment is because I do a lot of crit. My artifact is all about crit, 28, 25, 7. And I do quite a good amount of crit. And this is also a placeholder. I will be getting a new red skill soon, and it's going to go here. So for the moment, I'm keeping this one here. This one is really good. Again, especially if you have Matilda, Rage Blessing, even though it's a purple, is extremely good for your Himiko. And Max with your Matilda on top of that, I think you should keep it. Weakening Curse, I like it. There's a lot of Alex March, so it's good against Alex. Spring of Life is extremely good for the defense, even more than the healing. And if you have Fountain of Life, it's always going to proc, even if you fight anti-healing. So Spring of Life is very good. Energy Seal, in my opinion, is one of the best skill. And then the reason I do Energy Suppression is to mix match with Rage Blessing. I would do something similar for Matilda, by the way. I would do something like this if you can. Leave it. Okay, there, you can do a screenshot here. This is something that I would do with Ragnar as well instead. And then you would have a second team that is similar to mine. The only difference is I'm currently doing Khan. The main reason is because my Zenobia is not worked on yet, but I will probably still keep something like this. My Queen is probably gonna be moved either for Zenobia, and again, at the moment, I'm waiting for Sparks to come back. I would really like Sparks to come back because I started working on too many Olin shadows because I was able to max them with Sparks, but I'm still in need of shadow shards for my Bjorn. I'm still in very deep need of shadow for my Himiko. And I also started a Tio, which is okay, but she's only 6, going 7. If I do get a chance to max her at some point, my second team would be Tio, Khan, Alex, and YSS. But I stopped working on her because of Sparks being gone. I had another question from Kennedy. So, how is hybrid Baldwin, Matilda, Charles, and YSS? Okay, so this is a decent team when you put Matilda, Baldwin, and then you have YSS and Charles. So this is a very good team. Now, with this, I would definitely do the Earth Dragon. If you can do the Wind Dragon, which is a lot harder to work on, I minus 10/10, but that's still too low to use. If I go here, my nods are still not high enough to use my Wind Dragon. But if yours is high enough, Wind Dragon is going to be better. Just because your carry is Baldwin and you're going to get the Wind Dragon to go alongside it. But the Earth Dragon is fine as well. This is decent. Now, the problem with Baldwin is he got nerfed. The nerf was actually quite hard. When you look at the magical damage being reduced previously, made Baldwin S tier. Now, without this, with the nerf, Baldwin took a very severe hit. I think he moved to A, maximum, I would say A. And the reason is you need a few things on Baldwin if you really want to carry really hard with this team. You would need, in my opinion, of course, Fighting Master. You would need Infinite Firepower and Abundant Spirit. Or you would need Corrosive Power and Energy Mastery. Without Red Skill in this March, the thing is the damage output of Baldwin has went down. The reason why you see Baldwin a lot in Open Arena is because in Open Arena, the damage is limited for everyone. When you go to Open Arena, everybody's only level 60. There are 35, but when you look at the damage here, there's no specialization. So when you look at the damage, the crit, the magical damage, everything is lower than an immortal that you use outside of the Open Arena. This is why Baldwin took a severe hit. It is still decent. If I was you and this was my March and everything is already worked on, you can keep it. Make sure you invest everything into a red skill for your Baldwin. It's really the only way for you to increase this March is really 1 or 2 red skill on your Baldwin. And again, artifact. So the artifact for this March here, guys, another question. So for this March, if you do the Ragnar and Jorn, the artifact, I would do a crit artifact for sure on Himiko. I personally prefer crit, so that's just my opinion. For a Quinn, you definitely need the Surge. If you do Fufei or Matilda instead of Quinn, you need the Surge as well. Surge is the best one. The only immortal that you might want to do the life increase on an immortal, is there one? I don't even think there's one. There's just no need to do the life one. Surge is just all the time better on any support, in my opinion. For Bjorn and Trajan, Ragnar, sorry, I personally prefer the resilience, but you can do the physical as well. In my opinion, it depends on what you get. I got the physical defense, so I went with it. And the same thing here. I got the physical defense, so I went with it. I do have quite a few bucks, and I also saved a resilience, but it's not percentage. And that's the only reason why I'm not using this one. It's because my main one is percentage, even though it's physical, which I like a little bit less. The fact that it was percentage, I kept it. Otherwise, I would be using this one here. Resilience and HP, in my opinion, is the best for the tank. If you're using double tank and you have a carry on the back line. All right. So I'm going to continue a little bit more on the review. If you guys have more questions, let me know. I'll keep the stream going for a little bit longer. All right. So here we have a earth team and a fire team as the second one. Okay, here, this is a very good example. Dust level, you do not want to do it evenly. Xeno is a support, right? So Xeno does not need as much dust as Alex. Same thing with YSS. Now, what I would do is I would focus every single dust on my Alex right away. You do not want to sprinkle evenly anymore. They're already all 20. That's a decent threshold. Focus on Alex. For Cleo, if you're planning to do Quinn at any point, I would stop working on the dust level for my Cleo. I would leave it as that. And when my Quinn is ready, I would just introduce Quinn to the main march and level my Quinn dust level to 30 or 40. If you are planning on keeping Cleo in your main march for a very long time, then you can max your second. The carry always need the dust first, all right? When it comes to the skill, it's very similar that I always say. You need Fighting Master on your Cleo, even if she's not doing a lot of damage, unless you use her fully as a support. But right now there's 3 damage skill. You need to replace this one here with Fighting Master. So your Alex is being worked on. That's fine, even though at the moment he is weaker than your Immortal. Alex is extremely strong. Keep working on him for sure. So this is fine. Here, I would probably change resist at some point. I think you will need guard very early. If you can protect your Alex once he's a little bit higher, he will definitely do a lot more damage than your Cleo once he is higher level. When it comes to your second team, I wouldn't focus too much on it. Don't put dust. Here, again, the issue with 2 King of the Hill Immortal is you need to work on them slowly, but don't work on them yet. Put your Matilda to fully store. You can also unlock the artifact if you want, but after that, focus everything on your YSS. Don't forget that you will need to do specialization to level 8 as soon as it unlocked. You are going to use your main team, your Earth team, so much more. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat 1 second. So when you say that your Shadow Dragon is maxed out, what is it maxed out? The level here, but also the nods? Because Shadow Dragon is extremely expensive. Have you maxed out all of the nods as well? Because these are actually going to give you quite a few power. The accuracy, it's not a problem, but you definitely need the resilience and you need the magical. You need all the defense and you will need the magical attack. Physical, you don't need. There's quite a few power in there. You need this one as well. I've stopped working on my Shadow Dragon. Yes, so if your Shadow Dragon is maxed, then you definitely can do Shadow Dragon. Now, Shadow Dragon overall is very strong, is better than Lightning. And if you look, the magical damage is very good on the Lightning. It's better than the Earth, but the Shadow is still even higher. And like my lightning is really well done. My shadow is nowhere near, and already the magical attack is already higher. This one is good. Now, when it comes to the talent on your dragon, oops, open arena. When it comes to the talent on your shadow dragon, however, the best one is the first one. But because everybody that you're going to be fighting is going to have Fountain of Life and probably an Alex even, this is where the first one started to be countered because the silence rate, the silence is not going to hit 3 Immortal. It's just not going to hit. This one hits really quickly. Fountain of Life is still in effect. Shadow Dragon is actually massively countered by Fountain of Life. But if you do this one, it no longer silence. Instead, it guaranteed the front row more damage. Now, if you're finding a lot of double tank, again, it's not the best option because you want the damage to go into the back line, but at least you're not completely countered or almost by Fountain of Life. And this one is a little bit weaker, in my opinion, overall. So even in open arena, sometimes I do this one. And again, if you look at open arena, a lot of the team is going to run a Poseidon with Fighting Master. So when you do, oops, something like this talent, you're going to get even more damage. So it is good. It's up to you. I would test it out. If they have no Fountain of Life, this one is for sure the best. If they do, I think this one is a decent option. But Shadow Dragon for sure. Is there a cheaper way to get red skill other than the Well of Time? All right, so I have another question. The cheapest way to get red skill and the epic premium skill in the seasonal event in the Grail shop. Okay, so let's look at one thing first. When it comes to red skill, the best way is going to be, well, the only way is going to be the Wisdom Well. However, the way you obtain your coins is where you need to be careful. When you look at this here, now I already bought the $5. The $5 gives you 4 coins. You do not want to do the 6. Uh, well, if you can afford it, you can always go for it, but the value drops very quickly, right? You get 2 coins for $5 basically, because the $5 one gives you 4 coins, 10 gives you 6 coins. It's only 2 more coins for double the price. What you want to do is you want to do GT Arcade. GT Arcade is where you want to buy your coins. You can buy 6 times the $5 bundle, and it's going to give you 8 coins per bundle. So it costs you $35 and you $30, and it's going to get you more coins than if you do in game. The other one, the $10, I think it gives you 12 coins, which is still better, way better than this one. It's almost double. It's still better than the five for $5 for 4 coins. So what you do is you do GT Arcade first. You max out the $5 bundle every time it's available, and then if you want to do a little bit more, you do the $10 on GT Arcade. You only come do this one, the $5 one, after that. So it depends on how much you spend, but you always want to do GT Arcade first. When it comes to the Grail shop, now we don't have the seasonal event anymore, but the Grail shop, you do not want to buy the skill. The skill, if I remember correctly, is almost 1K currency. It's not worth it. It doesn't matter how heavy of a spender you are unless you're a whale, but if you're a whale, you don't need that skill box. You go for something else. The main focus in the Grail shop is going to be the chaos, discounted box for the first 4 Chaos Immortal. The one on sale the last time it was Fufe. It's a decent value as well. And then you can do Oli and Shadow as well, depending on your account. But these are the main thing you want to buy. Anything else in that shop, in my opinion, is for bigger well. I consider myself as a low to mid spender. I only get the Chaos box. I cannot even afford to go with Chaos box and Oli. Otherwise, I need to spend too much. I don't spend as much. And if you look here, I have a lot of power that I can gain. I have 1,400 of these bucks. This is more than maxing a Chaos when it comes to the store and the artifact slot. Now, there's still a lot that I need to do the specialization. But the last 2 events, I was able to get the Chaos chest almost every day. And this is what I suggest you do if you want to spend at all in that event. It's going to allow you to get one of these 4. Now, next week, I will do 2 champion spotlight on these 4. So I'll split it. I'll do one on Athena, one on Wu, and then the week after I'll do Loki and Poseidon. Because I've been asked quite a few times to do a spotlight on these 4, given the fact that the seasonal event gives you this option, gives you this box option, and it is very cheap compared to any other Chaos Immortal. Lower spender need to focus on one of those 4. Yeah, so for your lightning versus your shadow dragon, just to come back to that because you put something in the chat, you can test them. You can test, but your shadow is going to be better. When it comes to the talent, again, you can test. If they have Fountain of Life, most likely it's not going to be better. Right. Let's continue here. All right, I'm going to do a one last here. And then if there's more question, I'll answer a few questions. But I'll probably end the stream in about 15 minutes. It's already been an hour. I'm planning on doing another one to hit another time zone later next week. So free-to-play player, 50, Merlin, Quinn, Hippo, Ragnar. All right, so this theme is quite different than what we've seen. It's a off meta, as we can call a little bit, because there is a lot of thing going on here. You have a Water Immortal as the main carry into Merlin. You have Hippo and a Fire Dragon. And then you have a Wind in Quinn. And then you have another Water Immortal in Ragnar. It's not that it's bad. I think it's a decent March. The problem with that is first, you don't get any buff from the oops, here. From the troops here, right? Because you're not even at 3. It's not the worst case scenario. Don't necessarily need that. However, the 20% defense is quite nice. Oops, sorry, on this word. If you want to keep exactly this, what you need to do right now for sure, however, is you need Fighting Master on your Merlin. And I would put more defensive or utility skill on my Hippo. The best option would be to remove Anger and put Fighting Will. Fighting Will is extremely good on an attack immortal like Hippo because when she takes damage, she roots and also do damage. So you don't need her to do a lot of damage. Fighting Will is going to carry some of the load and also provide crowd control, which you don't have in this March. Also, because you have Ragnar and you have crit on the dragon, the main damage is definitely going to be Merlin. So replace, I would say, Annihilation with Fighting Master. The reason I'm telling you not to change the concentration is because Merlin, most of his damage is from his main skill, and concentration is going to help a lot. when it comes to the dust level, uh, here, 40, 40, 40, 15. Okay, so if they're all 40, it's the same thing. You need to stop focusing evenly. Do Merlin to 50, do Hippo to 50, do Ragnar to 30 or 40. And then if you want, you can always max Quinn and Ragnar afterwards, or you can start working on a second. Ragnar at 40, Quinn at 40 is decent. It really depends on what you want to do. Personally, I prefer to max them out. To give you an idea, my Jordan is maxed out. My YSS is maxed out. I have my Khan, which is a carry model in my second March. E should be maxed out, but because I focus heavily on my main team first, I rather max my main team, and then now I'm focusing on Khan. It's slowing the speed of my second team, but I make sure my first team is as strong as possible. So if you're using okay, I have another question. So if you're using a hybrid team in season one, which is a very good team for season one. So hybrid team guys, we're talking about this, right? So the first thing I would say though is if you have not worked too heavily on your Hannibal, I do think working on something like this is going to give you more power down the line. There's a few reasons. First of all, it's not because Hannibal is not a good immortal, but Hannibal, you will need Fighting Master on him because he doesn't have the immunity like Alex does. And then you cannot do Weakening Curse. You cannot do Guard. If you do Guard, your Hannibal is going to die way too quickly. It's a skill really that is and should be done on a tank. And what happened is you have a lot of power because you have two attacking model, but you also take a lot of damage. I personally prefer going with YSS. Another reason is when you're going to be deeper into Infinity Kingdom, you're going to have where's my Alex? You're going to have equipment like this that you can upgrade. And when you upgrade them, it's going to cost you stones, these stones, right? And as a free to play, it's going to take a long time for you to get these stones. Even for me, it's taking me quite a long time. I can upgrade this one, but what happened is if I use this one here, example, I use it for this one, I can no longer do Hannibal because he is also an attacking model. If you do YSS and Hannibal, your stone is going to be used for your Alex, and your tank stone is going to go towards your tank. It's not the same stone. You're going to be able to work on both equipment for both your front line, and this is going to be way better as a free to play. It's going to take you way too long to do both Alex and Hannibal. But this is my first recommendation when it comes to RB team. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that is you ask which epic skill you need to focus on. Epic skill number one is going to be Assembly Charge for Alex. This is from the Legion of Frostborn shop, not the boxes. If you do the boxes, so either the recharge, the box from the seasonal event, or the wish shop here, I strongly suggest No Escape first. No Escape is very good. It does not matter that Fountain of Life counters it. You're going to fight a lot of other Alex marches, a lot of other player that does not have Fountain of Life as a free-to-play player. So No Escape is going to be your best get. Then if you did change your Hannibal, in my opinion, it's going to be Guard. Guard is going to be extremely good on your Immortal. Oh, sorry. YSS. Oh, I don't have it on YSS at the moment. Guard is going to be extremely good because it's going to protect your Alex. And in a march like this, the only damage comes from Alex. So Guard is going to be the second best yet for you after No Escape. And if we go deeper and look at a third one, the third one is going to be Energy Shield. Energy Shield is extremely good. The reason why it's extremely good, it's shielding. The only thing that cancels shielding is Poseidon. And chances are, if you're fighting a Poseidon as a free-to-play player, you're probably going to lose anyway. So don't bother with what's countering Energy Shield. It's a very good skill. Spring of Life could also be an option, but Spring of Life is countered by anti-healing. Okay, so your Castle and Tower of Knowledge is only level 43. So at 43, there's a few skills that you cannot do, and the main skill is going to be No Escape. No Escape is 45. It really depends, in my opinion, if you're planning on being able to get multiple skill from the Wish Shop. If you think you can only get one skill from the Legion of Frostborn and one skill from this Wish Shop, I would actually wait. I would actually probably not use my stone until I can get No Escape. In my opinion, No Escape is just that good. I would wait. If you can do two, then do Guard right away for your YSS. If you don't have YSS, you keep Hannibal, then do Energy Shield. Energy Shield is just such a universal, always good in any team kind of skill that Energy Shield is going to allow you to get good value out of it right away. I don't remember which level it is though. Oh, you see, it's 50. So you cannot do it neither. I would actually wait. If Spring of Life you also cannot do, but I would not do Spring of Life. Yeah, I think No Escape, Guard, and Vitality Energy Shield are more important. Even though you need to wait a little bit, I would just keep the box for now. So I have another question. Which good mage skill for Merlin at level 60? I have a question for you then. Do you use red skill or you're talking about any gold skill or only the free to play gold skill? No red skill. All right. So if you don't have red skill, are you gonna use some of the pay to win skill? Like the one from the bundles? Like this one? If you use this one, I would definitely do Tide on Merlin. This is the best skill outside of paid skill, red skill, but this one is paid skill, right? You cannot obtain this one from the Wish Shop. You must buy it from this bundle here. You can see it's here. This would be the best skill on Merlin if you don't do red skill, but can afford to pay the skill. If that's not the case, you're gonna need, in my opinion, concentration. Concentration is extremely good. I know it's a purple skill, but when you look at the report for your Merlin, I am 99% sure most of the damage is actually coming from his ultimate. Even if you're using skill like Annihilation, Spell Disintegrator, Abundant Spirit, it doesn't matter. Merlin does a lot of damage from the ultimate. So this is going to boost his ultimate damage. The other option that you could do is going to be Abundant Spirit. Now, if you look at Abundant Spirit, it's the same thing as Concentration, the 30%, but also increase the crit chance. Now, if you look at Immortal like Merlin, Abundant Spirit is not the best on him because he doesn't have that much crit chance. Here, as you can see, there's no crit chance at all. If you add the artifact, there's a little bit of crit chance. Right? Not even. It's not even this one. I was thinking about another one. So there's not even any crit chance. But again, it's a gold skill. It gives you a little bit more power. It's pretty much empty power. Concentration will do the trick. And the other skill that I will do if I don't pay skill on Merlin, I would do Spell Disintegrator. Let's take a look. So Spell Disintegrator is extremely good. The reason is of this here, reduce magical defense and do some damage as well. It's also every 3 seconds. Other than infinite firepower, it's the only skill that trigger every 3 seconds. So it is a very good skill. If you do Spell Disintegrator, I would do a Within Spirit instead of Concentration for sure. So another Merlin user wants to know which skill if they use Ditto or Artemis, Merlin and Ragnar with Hippo. It would be the same. It would be the same. I would do Spell Disintegrator, Concentration, or Within Spirit. The other option is going to be if you pay a little bit, you can do Psionic Tide. Again, this is the best skill for a mage outside of red skill. The reason is it give energy and increase your magical damage. It is extremely good. It also restores 60, like the energy 200. You almost cast your ultimate right away again. If you can do this one and you can afford to do corrosive power, I would do this one and corrosive power. It would be the best option, but these are not cheap skill. All right, I'm caught up on the question, so I'm going to finish this player for sure. So we said that here, the one comment, again, you need to max your dust on Merlin first, then you do Hippo. You can also bring your Ragnar to 20 first, because 15 is quite low, but then focus on your Merlin for sure. Quinn at 40 is way too high already. Leave it at that for now. Again, the specialization, this is harder to do on Ragnar because of the golden path, but you need to focus on it. It's way too low at the moment. Here, you can keep the fire dragon. I think it's better that you continue on your fire dragon, given the fact that water is just a bad dragon in my opinion. Focus on your fire. You could do the earth, but you would lose some synergy. But at the moment, given the fact that you don't have a buff anyway, you probably want to do the earth. The earth dragon gives you better stats for your Merlin, unless you have a lot of crit. And if you want to keep the fire dragon, you need to make sure this is a crit artifact. Something like this. You want to focus all the stats on crit, 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 crit. Especially if you do Fire Dragon. Um, all right, so I'm gonna close this one here. All right, guys. So if you have any other question, let me know. I'll hang out a little bit more before I close the stream. I see that a few more has joined. If you have a March to review, you can either send it via in-game. Again, if you're in the same open arena as me, you just need to locate me and then you click Alliance. If you do this, you can contact leader. It's going to send me a message and I'll be able to review. Or you can do the Discord channel here. I'm going to send the invite in the chat. So you can just put a submission and let me know that you put one, and I can review it right away. In the meantime, while you guys ask questions or post a review, I'm going to go on my mini account and do some stuff. All right, so there's another question. When it comes to newer server, this person asked why the blue faction is always weaker. Yes, it's probably because of the buff to Spearman. Now, yes and no, because if you're a new player, you don't necessarily know which troops is better, right? You don't really know if Cav is better, Shieldman or Spearman. In fact, in my server, way back, I think it was in server 9 when I started, the Blue Kingdom was actually the main alliance, the strongest one. But yes, the buff was absolutely useless for most of us. The reason is Spearman is not used as much. So at some point we did switch. We actually switched to the green one, the Shieldman. We decided at that time. Personally, I think the red one is probably better for a lot of player, especially free to play player. If you have Alex in your main team, it's the only damage dealer. You definitely want to hang out in the red faction. Nowadays, you can always change. You don't need to be in an alliance that isn't different, right? Back in my days, you could not join an alliance in the red faction if you were blue or green, but that changed a while back. The other question related to this one is what does this do for a server health? Now, I don't think the server health has to do with having three factions. It's more about having active player. I'll give you a good example. If you have 180 active player, you're actually better off being all in the same alliance. The only downside to all being the same alliance, if you only have 180 player, is PvP is a lot more complicated inside the server. It depends if you're focusing on KVK or you like to fight inside the server as well, then you would need two alliance. You could always do two alliance when there's almost no event, and then you can bring everybody in the same alliance for KVK. This is definitely the best option if you have 180 player in the server. If you have more than that, this is where it's needed, and this is where you can have more than one faction. It doesn't matter nowadays. Again, you can join alliances for different factions, so that's not a problem anymore. But again, the server health is more about active player. And by active, I mean playing the game, not just logging in every week, right? It's more about how many active player you have. Okay, there's a few more questions. So Pakal, I have a question about Pakal. The reason why Pakal was so much underwhelming when he was released is for a few reasons. First of all, when you look at Pakal, where is he? Where is my Pakal? Oh, forgot. Okay, I need to go back on the main account. So when you look at Pakal, the reason number one, I can do it this way because I'm already fully stored. But the way you obtain Pakal is not as easy as other immortal. It is almost as difficult as obtaining YSS. Now I understand YSS is not hard, but while Pakal is going to be available in the random shard, here you can have him, but only at 0.04, which is quite low. It's the same thing as YSS. The chance that you get him in the stone is quite low. And more importantly, he is not going to be available in the market. So you need to buy him from places like the Golden Path. And I personally don't think is worth it because of that. If you're going to buy an immortal from the Golden Path, you might as well do YSS. You're going to get somebody way better, and it's going to be the same price. So this was the first reason why Pakal was very underwhelming. Then when you look at the stat, the skill, it's going to be a shield absorption rate. That is okay. But if you look at Charles, the absorption rate is actually higher. The difference between the two is there's no condition here except the energy. As soon as Charles' energy goes off, you get this shielding. When you look at Pakal, there's a condition when it comes to normal attack. I don't think you want an immortal that gives you a support aspect in the game, but the buff or shielding that he gives is based on how many normal attacks your team does. The reason is it becomes way less flexible, right? With Charles and YSS, it does not matter who you pair him with. It's going to work out for you. It's going to be good for you. With Pakal, it's not the case. You can only use him with Alex. You should use him with Zenobia and Alex even more. This is the second reason why he's not really used. Is it going to be better than Charles? I can't even tell you because there's no player that really tested him out. I've never tested him out. I don't plan on testing him. The only reason why he is fully starred is because I've gotten him along the years, but I don't plan on putting dust on him and trying him out. I find this skill too lackluster when I look at Charles and YSS. So there's another question when it comes to using Alex, YSS, Zenobia, and Quinn, but replacing Quinn with Elizabeth when, example, the enemy has no healing, so that the Quinn is not useless. It is decent. I have an account that used to be exactly this March. I did swap Elizabeth away to put Quinn. The reason, there's two. First, when you do double support, the Alex is going to be a little bit stronger because you're able to give more supportive skill to your Alex. Again, if you do Blade Vortex and Executioner on your Illis, that means there's two skill less that will provide support to your Alex. Alex is extremely strong. That's why he works as a solo carry. Now, it's not a bad idea. It does work. It is very strong if you put Blade Vortex and Executioner. If you look at my open arena, it is, I do double tank Zenobia and I have Eliz. Here, if you do this, you would need Fighting Master. If you do a Eliz outside of Open Arena, the reason why I don't have Fighting Master it's because it's on my Poseidon. Um, but you would need it on your Eliz, on their Incense. It is good, but again, the issue when you have two carry, if they don't have either one of them used as a support, example, Himiko, you use the Realm, the stun here on Eliz does not happen that often. Yes, it can trigger. Yes, it's decent, but it's not as good as the Himiko one. And the other thing is, Eliz, usually she needs more time to do damage. Eliz is an immortal that is not a bursty immortal as a whole. If you look at the damage, it is kind of decent, but you have this one here, you have a stun rate. Because they have three things, the damage overall takes time, which is why you're giving your Blade Vortex, which also focus on continuous damage, and you're giving your Executioner also about continuous damage. This is the issue. If you're fighting another Alex, you're probably doing okay. If you're fighting a Himiko, if you're fighting a Kan, you're probably getting destroyed because Himiko and Kan are going to burst so quickly, your Elizabeth is not going to have time to ramp up. And this is something that you can see also in Open Arena. If you look here, I had this skill instead. I, I had Demolition Contract. He has absolute defense. I did not have time to ramp up, even at 1 minute 30. I did a little bit more damage, but he did a little more healing. That's why he won. But even with Demonic Contract and him being absolute defense, it takes so much time for Illis to ramp up. That's why she's not used as much anymore. Illis was extremely strong before when the meta was not as bursty. So if you don't use Blade Vortex on your Alex because you place it on your Illis, it would depend which skill you currently have on Alex, but the best skill for Alex is going to be Assembly Charge, Wind Rage, Cleave, you can do Berserker, you can do Combo even. Combo is good on Alex. These would be the skill that you want to use if you don't have Blade Vortex on him. Actually, I personally think that Blade Vortex on Alex has become a little bit less powerful than Assembly Charge, Wind Rage, and Cleave together. The reason why a lot of players was using Blade Vortex in the past on Alex is because Assembly Charge was not there. Once Assembly Charge became a thing, a lot of the player gravitated towards Assembly Charge and Wind Rage together for maximum damage. So if you're a new server and you just started Frost, KBK, so Legion of Frostborn, is a lot about making alliances with other faction, especially your own faction. When you look at your own faction, you need to make sure you have allies because in KVK, you can only hold 5 city per alliance. If you can have multiple alliances that help you hold city, you get more rewards, and then you can also work together. And when you look at the inner zone, so inside the zone 2 and 3, to attack the gates, you need Legion points. And to get Legion points, you need to hold cities. This is why in KVK, if you're alone and you can only hold 5 city, you're going to have a hard time. It does not matter if they're as strong as you. It doesn't matter if you don't like them almost even. If they're in the same faction, you almost have to ally with them. Other than that, I would say just have fun. KVK is, in my opinion, the best game mode. I do hope they fix it a little bit, but it is a lot of fighting. So I have another question. When it comes to a player that can afford about $40 per month, he will start a new account soon. He's asking if Alex, YSS, Matilda, Can, Earth, Dragon is the best team for his budget. The answer is no. If you look at the team that you're mentioning, first of all, this here is really good synergy, but this here is not good synergy. Matilda and Can together works well. Matilda and Alex together, uh, it's almost useless. Matilda is not going to help Alex at all. Two, if you can afford $40 a month, you're going to be working on two King of the Hill Immortal. It's going to be rough. It's going to take you quite a long time to get these two maxed out at $40 a month. Another problem is Khan. If you're starting a new account, Khan is going to take you a long time to max out. You're not going to be able to afford at $40 a month to work on these three immortal. In my opinion, if I was you, I would do the normal best team that I gave on the free to play top March, and I would do this. With your $40 a month, you will focus on YSS first in the golden path. You can only buy the $5 option and use the gem to get more coins and then use the coins in the golden shop for YSS. When the YSS is maxed out properly, you have two options with your money. You can do a little bit of dust early because early game dust is a little bit better. Later game dust gets harder to get to buy. You only need to wait the seasonal event pretty much. So that's an option. But the best option at $40 a month, what I would do is once this is maxed out, is I would do Divine Coin. Even if you do the $5 bundles every here and there, I would do that for a few months, even if it takes 6 months, and then I will get a red skill. This is the best way you can do. I guarantee you, as soon as you get your red skill to level 5, even for Alex, that would be fully prepared, in my opinion. To level 4, 5, 6, you're going to beat any player that has put $40 a month on anything else. I am sure of it because this is a free to play march. You don't need to put money. If you do put the money, you want to put it somewhere that any other player that don't put money cannot do, and that's a red skill. That would be my best recommendation, but definitely don't do Matilda YSS Con. It's too heavy, too hard to work on, and the synergy is not the best. So another question, this is the same player that was doing the Baldwin March with double tank and Matilda. The Battle Stance Demonic Contract option, it's still okay. I still see it every now and then. Because you're using a double tank, I would say it's okay. The problem with Battle Stance is this one. You're going to have Matilda, and you're going to be putting Battle Station, the best um, specialization for your sport, the best one to have alongside your Baldwin. But then you're going to boost your energy, but then you're going to have Battle Sense preventing you from gaining energy. That's the reason why Battle Sense is not good anymore. It's because if you have what you need beside your mage, which is a support with Battle Station, the synergy with Battle Sense is just too low. Two, if you do Demonic Contract on top of it, the ramp up is so slow, you need too much time to ramp up. This is why this combo is not as used anymore. I definitely prefer quick damage outbursts on your Baldwin. Battle Excitation, Battle Sense and Demonic Contract is going to be for the non-boss elemental domain. It can work sometime given the fact you have double tank, but the synergy is not there anymore. So the another question is about weakening curse versus purification. So yes, in the past, this skill, weakening curse, was countered by purification. It's no longer the case. This will not counter weakening curse. I think it's a good thing because this was too hard of a counter to weakening curse, and weakening curse only do one thing. And if it's countered, it's a useless skill. So I think it's decent that they did this change. And it still doesn't mean that weakening curse is completely killing Alex. When you look at Alex, yes, it's gonna impede him a little bit, but a lot of the damage that he will do is still gonna work. It's still gonna do damage. If you look at, let me go on another account. If you look at the report, you're gonna see that a lot of the matches are still won before 45 seconds in a lot of the fights. I don't remember who's okay. So, example, this one, the battle was still won before 45 seconds, right? So 61k damage. You can see that weakening curse is not absolutely needed. Here, I can give you this example. 121. So this one lasted longer, but still did a lot of damage. If you look at the replay, the damage did not happen all after 45 seconds. Here, there was a lot of healing, and this is a good march. Like my smaller account is still a very good march. I have guard, weakening curse, fighting master. So weakening curse do impede Alex. Does it counter him 100%? The answer is no. And to give you an idea, it's a little bit similar to Fountain of Life versus No Escape. Let me go back. So Fountain of Life is a hard counter to No Escape. Does it counter No Escape completely? The answer is no. It completely countered the silence. So here you can see Quinn has No Escape. Now my Fufei has Phantom of Life, so there will be less silence. But if I look at here, there's still some silence because when you look at the skill, there is another trigger. After silence ends every 6 seconds, there's a 50% chance to do this here and also stun the enemy. So you have a chance to trigger the stun, not just the silence on No Escape. So this is why they did the change to weakening curse versus purification. Purification was doing 100% countering weakening curse, and this is not good for the game. The skill was almost useless, where Fountain of Life do counter No Escape hard, but not 100%. So I can consider doing a video next week on all the skills for Alex. I know he is very used. It's something I'll consider. So the right now my second team is something like this, right? So yes, Quinn Khan does not have a lot of synergy. The reason why I have this at the moment is Quinn was in my main before I came and replaced Quinn with Fufei. My main team was double tank Quinn and Himiko, and because I worked on my Quinn a lot, it's not worth for me to put him in the third team, even though the synergy is not all there. Given the fact that my specialization on him is maxed out, and if I look at my dust level, it's level 40. If you look at example Matilda, she's not worked on, right? So Quinn is going to be better, even if the synergy is not all there. Now, if you're a new player or you're going to start soon, I wouldn't recommend you to do this much neither. You would need to do something else than Quinn. You would need to do something like Zenobia. Zenobia is extremely good, even though she's countered by Quinn and Khan. The artifact is going to help your Alex a lot. 25% increase is extremely high. This is really good for your Alex. If you want to do this much, it is doable. It is better than Matilda, in my opinion, because you have Alex in your March, but Can is still very hard to do. Can is still going to be very hard. Personally, I think you're better off putting Quinn and focusing your money elsewhere than Can. But yes, it is still a decent March. You can take a look. There is a player, well, one of my other accounts actually. Here, and this one here, the main March is a Khan, Zenobia, Alex, and YSS, and I think Cloud also use a Khan March. So the way you use Khan is a little bit more support, but you can give him damage as well. If you look at my Khan, I'm putting 40 support on him. My damage comes all from my Alex in this March. So if you use double support, example with Alex or any formation that has double support, in my opinion, the best option for specialization is going to be the first one. Show you, it's going to be Holy Prayer. The reason is of the damage taken decrease. This is the one that I really want. I know technically I want to support everyone, but because healing is canceled so much, if healing is canceled, you're putting everything into a specialization that would be countered. Here, at the very least, if the healing is canceled, I don't get the healing increase, but I do get the damage taken decrease. And this is my take on it. Because I don't want something that is fully countered, I go with the first one if I use double support. So yes, Quinn and Zenobia would be using Holy Prayer and Zenobia as well. Holy Prayer because they're together. If there's a carry, then you do battle excitation. All right, guys. If there's any question left, let me know right away. Otherwise, I'll stop the stream. It's been 2 hours. Um, if there's more question afterwards, you can always ask in the Discord channel. And yes, I am planning to do another live. It's probably going to be midday or so that I can hit another time zone. So why doesn't anybody use Anibal? The main reason is because Alex has immunity built into his skill, where Anibal does not. He doesn't have the immunity. That means if you're using Anibal as the only carry, you must give him Fighting Master. If you give him Fighting Master, you can only slot in 2 skills. And if you only slot 2 skills, you're better off using Alex. That's the main reason why people prefer Alex over Anibal. Now, the second reason is hybrid team, which is still decent, does not allow you to bring a tank because you have 2 attack frontliner. That means you cannot protect your Alex with guard. That means you cannot use weakening curse. You cannot use as many supported skill on your team. This is why a lot of people gravitated towards YSS instead of Hannibal. YSS is also very easy to do. Golden Path, King of the Hill. especially if you only do one of them. And also with YSS, you get an extremely good immortal. The receive loss, damage taken by 30% for the whole team is very good. If you went with something like Charles, also very good. Shielding is not cancel or countered easily, so very good as well. All right, so the skill path for YSS, Alex, Zenobia, and Quinn, the best way to show you is here. This is my other account. What I like to do on Alex is assembly charge, win rage. Win rage is really good because it's gonna proc assembly charge, and then I do cleave as well because it's also gonna win rage is also gonna proc cleave. So this here is maximum synergy and also allow you to deal AoE damage because this deals damage to more than the person you attack in front of you. Same with this one. It changed Alex's attack from only being normal attack to the person in front of him to AoE to everybody. So this is why I do this way. I do the rapid artifact, and then I get an Alex that hit a normal attack very quickly. And when you hit normal attack very quickly, he deals damage to everybody from 2 skills. That's my take on Alex when it comes to gold skill. This is the best setup in my opinion. The option that you could do to change slightly is replacing Wind Rage with something like Berserker. I can give you another option here. I think this player. So this player does this here. And this is also decent. Combo is decent. Combo only attacks the person in front of you. So that's the downside. It actually deal more damage than skills like Cleave a lot of the time. But Cleave allow you to deal damage to everybody. And this is what Alex lacks. So, but this is still decent. Berserk is also a decent skill for Alex. You also have so this is a weaker account. You can do Anger with Assembly Charge as well. Anger gives you damage increase, so this will allow your AoE to be stronger. It's a different take than combo, but at the end of the day, I really think the best skill combo is going to be this one. For YSS, you need Guard for sure. Guard is extremely good. I do Weakening Curse almost all the time because I fight a lot of other Alex with this account, so Weakening Curse is helping a lot. And then Fighting Master on my YSS, it's because it helps with Guard, and I want to make sure he is always casting his ultimate to protect everyone. But you could also do something like No Escape. You could do Energy Shield, Vitality's Touch, Purification, Energy Blessing is also good options. For Zenobia and Quinn, the skill that you do can be mix and match. It doesn't matter where they go, but these are skills that are really good. Berserk is really good because it's going to help your Alex to do more damage with the attack speed. When you do Berserk, you can match it with Spring of Life. This is really good because it's going to increase the healing of your Berserk. And Berserk overall is quite low, but at 30% with Spring of Life, it's a little bit better. So these two skill works well together. Energy Shield is a good skill overall. It's very good on any team really. No Escape is a must. I always put it. Energy Suppression again is a good skill almost all the time. Yes, it's not the best against other Alex, but it helps against everybody else, so it's a good option. Here, however, you can see I have Purification, Vitality Touch. Vitality Touch is a decent skill. I would prefer Purification. Purification would be probably better than Vitality's Touch, but it's still decent as well. I can give you the spec quickly. So Holy Prayer for the 2 backliner. I do Fearless Stance because I use Guard on my YSS, and then Rapid on Alex. Oh, I can see it, but it's Rapid. And if you look at the dust, 40, 40, 50, and then maxing this one out. And this is actually the account that I had Elizabeth at some point. That's why she is at 30. She's harder to work on specialization. It's only at 6. Even at 30 and 6 on specialization, I do way, way better with Quinn at 40 and maxed out on specialization. It allowed me to bring skills like these, and it's better overall. I perform better, at least with this. So Growl on Alex, yes, Growl on Alex is an option. It is decent. The Growl skill is a little bit harder to get. It's going to be easier for Legendary Season now after this KVK because it's now in the normal shop. If you look at the shop, it's now here. A lot of players are going to start using Growl after this KVK. It's going to be easier to test. But yes, Growl is a skill that is decent on Alex as well. Is it going to be better than the other option? It depends which skill you have with. I still think this setup that focus on AoE and normal attack is going to be a little bit better. And this one here, I think is a little bit better. If you do want to do Growl, I would probably remove Cleave and put Growl or Wind Rage. Assembly Charge needs to stay there. It's too good. For Fufei, you have 3 options for red skill. This is another question. But for red skill, when it comes to Fufei, you really have only 3 options. You have Life Protection, which is the best one. Life Protection is going to allow you to protect your mage. So in my case, it's Himiko. And Life Protection becomes the best skill for your Fufei. Then you're going to have Divine Blessing. Divine Blessing can be equipped on a tank and support. Divine Blessing is extremely good. It's probably my next red skill I will get. It's very good against Himiko, against Loki, against Apollo. Anybody except Alex and Medusa, basically. And then their third option is going to be Fountain of Life. Now, Fountain of Life, I would only put on Fufei if you do assist on top of that. If you do assist, then your Fufei is going to take a little bit more damage. So Life Protection is going to help Fufei and the Mage. And Fountain of Life is going to help Fufei sustain some of the assist side damage taken from the Himiko. So this is why this is a decent setup. If you don't have assist, I would not put Fountain of Life on Fufei. I would probably put it on a tank in the front row, because tank in the front row, especially if you fight Alex, is going to take more damage. If you have guard on one of the tank because you have Alex, then putting the Fountain of Life on your guard tank is better. But these are decent skill. So Life Protection, Fountain of Life, and Divine Blessing. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys were able to ask as many questions as you could. If you have more, feel free to ask on the Discord. It was really nice hanging out with you guys. See you soon again. Have a good night.